had this compact. They put it in their purse. We saw it everywhere. We probably even used it as kids when we were in junior high and probably even high school, but this is not your mom's compact. It is not the same thing. And I'm going to show you the difference. So I did a little research on those compacts, the little compact that your mom carried. It had antiseptic and Noxzema in it. They used it as a kind of like a skincare compact. They considered it clean and it was to help acne and all those things. So they were onto something in the 60s and 70s. But what we have here is not a powder. That was a powder. And when you get to be more of a mature lady like me, hi, I'm 55, it's just a whole different thing. And that compact will no longer work. So if you're here and you hear anything, it's been forever since you've been on here. I am well. I am doing well. Thank you. If you hear anything on here that you want to know about, maybe you want to match to your skin tone with this or anything else that you hear me talk about, if you comment the word live, you will get a thing to your DM. You'll get a message to your DM and it will give you everything that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to show you what this ain't your mama's compact. This is a cushion and it is a South Korean skincare company created this cushion and it's nothing like I have ever used before. And what this is this is the cushion right in here and this is the makeup, but it is skincare infused. It has the skincare company that I love and I have been using their skincare since last April. They have a philosophy of they want you to cleanse, hydrate, and protect. They really want you to protect your skin barrier and they want to heal the damage that we've done. And as mature ladies, we've done a lot of damage. So first thing I'm going to do here is I am going to put this balm stick underneath my eyes. And typically I would put a little bit on my lips, but I'm going to be putting a lip tint on. So I'm not going to do that. This balm stick is great. It hydrates your under eyes. You probably have dry under eyes and you don't even know it because I would say I don't have dry under eyes. But when I use this, boy, does it soak in right here. It's like from here to here, it really soaks in. And that's where I really will concentrate. It's a great way to hydrate those under eyes before you do your makeup because we get a lot of creasing in the under eyes. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I tend to, like I said, I put it on my lips. I will put it here high on my cheekbones. And you can put on your nasal labial folds and even here on your 11s if you want. This is $25. It is amazing. But then we're going to go into the cushion. So I love this makeup and I get a lot of questions on, are you using this cushion in conjunction with your Saint makeup? And my answer is yes. I have a cream makeup that I love and I will use this palette here with it. I will use a bronzer, a brightener, a color corrector under my eyes, and a lip and cheek. But this time I am not going to use any Saint makeup. I'm going to use all Rimmon. And it's just a way for me to show you how you can use this. They have a little sale thing going on right now that if you buy 3 of these, you get their spray, but it only goes through, I think, the 31st. So we only have another day. You don't have to buy 3. You don't have to be like, do I have to get 3? No, you can get just your main shade. So let's open this up. This comes in a box, and in the box underneath what you pull out, this compact is going to have a refill, and there's a whole nother refill for you to pop in right here. So you're actually getting two supplies of your makeup, okay, for $55. And I'm going to show you the application because I think this is so good. So this has skincare in it. It helps your fine lines and your wrinkles. So this is almost like your final skin scare. Almost said it twice, skin care step. But it's really the first step that I use in my makeup. I'm going to use this brush. Saint has this brush on sale right now. It's a powder brush. I use it often. Right now I'm using, this is like a version of the 3D. And I'm going to tap it into there. And I'm just going to put it on my cheeks. Like so. See? Buildable coverage. And it leaves the most beautiful radiant finish. And I'm going to put it over on the cheek. And I'm going to put it on my nose and my chin. When we're older, the less you can wear, the better you're going to be. but you can still have coverage and you can still have a radiant glow, and that's what we want. We don't want a matte finish. At least most of us are not going to want a matte finish. We want a radiant finish, which is what you're going to get with this. And it's a little bit, if you're a Saint user, it's going to be less dewy than the cream makeup. And you're also getting skincare benefits in here. So I've gotten my cheeks, I've gotten my nose, like I said. So I'm just going to go like that on my forehead. I have no makeup down in here. So I'm just going to slightly tap what's left on the brush right around in there. I'm going to close this compact up. That's it. Super, super easy. That's how I put on my main color of my foundation. I don't put a lot on. And then I'm going to open this compact up. And this is going to be the color Deep. And I'm going to use it. You can use it as a contour, or you can use it as a bronzer. I'm going to use it as a bronzer. That's my favorite way to use it. I'm going to put very little on my brush, like so. Same brush. And I'm just going to put it on my forehead for some dimension. Oh, I should have put my my crimper in my mini chat. Such a fun crimper I use on my hair. And when you have short hair, there's not a lot you can do with it. So being able to crimp it, it's kind of fun. So I'm only putting this high up on my cheekbones, as you can see. So it's really in the blush area is where I'm applying it, like this. It helps even out my skin tone. It helps me to use even less makeup. You can maybe put a little bit on your nose. I put a little bit here. My friend called, what'd you call it, Mary? My white gobbler. I was like, what? Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Hey, Mary, I just talked about you. Did you call this my white gobbler? Or you may have been referring to yourself, but whatever. Okay, so we built some dimension, and I can close this up. Guys, I have not run out of my Remon Compact yet. And I've had this for, I think it's been 3 months, 4 months. I haven't even gotten into my other cushion. So it lasts me for a long time because I use so little. White goblet. So awful. You're terrible. Okay. And then they have lip tints. Gobbler. Okay. They have lip tints, and I like to use them on my cheeks. You can even use them as eyeshadow. Again, they have skincare in them. These are, though, more of a matte finish. They did leave a beautiful radiance on the cheek. I love the color that they leave, but if you put it on the lips and you're like, you know what? I'm not so much. I don't want that matte color. Let it stain your lips like I do. Let it stain your lips. And then I just put a gloss over it. I do that all the time. And it's called a tint. It's not called a stain. I don't put a lot of this on. It's a little bit of a brighter color for me. I put about that much, take it around my fingers, and then I'll just let it stain my lips. Tint. Okay, they're not calling it a stain, but I'm going to use it on my cheeks. So I tap high on my cheeks. If I want to create lift for myself, which everything I do with my makeup is going to create lift, I'm going to put it high up here on my cheekbones. And that's where I'm going to start. I'm not going to start in the apples of my cheeks. I can't really. I think a lot of us can't. You know, we used to smile and we would put it on the apples to our cheeks, and then we would work the blush up. And I really feel like we need to, like with everything with our makeup right now, we need to go the complete opposite. We need to start here, like so, and then we'll work it forward. And then I'll put it to the apples of my cheeks. So I just take it here and I apply high. So I'm right on my cheekbone and I can feel it. I don't even hardly have to look in the mirror. And then I just fill it all in and I'm working it up high. And then I'll bring it to the apple of my cheeks. And that's just going to create lift. So I'm working the lip and cheek like this up towards my temple. Again, I'm using the same brush. This is it's kind of a modified version of the 3D brush from Saint. And that's how I create lift. And then I almost always. Yes, she's so right. The placement for blush, I find, for so many of us, is hard. And I think that should be the easiest thing that you ever do. And it's not. It's hard. And I don't know if it's because our cheeks have flattened out and we lose the collagen and we're not sure, like the bone is still there. So that's what we need to pay attention to. We're not going to be able to, we can add fullness by some of my techniques, but the fullness is kind of gone. So we're going to add to that. We're going to fake everyone out. So we're going to take it up, and then I'm going to bring just a little bit forward on the apple to my cheeks. Okay. And then I am going to open my last cushion, and it's going to be the color, I should give you guys the numbers, 21, which is light. And this is my brightener. I do a lot with brightener. I do more with brightener than I do contouring. I'm telling you, I'll get on a video and like 50,000 hairs fall on my face. And the reason I do that is light can be your enemy if you put it in the wrong places. If you put too light of a foundation on, you're going to show texture. If you put too much of it on, you're going to create texture. If you put it on your under eyes, you are going to add and draw attention to your texture. So it can be your enemy in those ways, but the way that I'm going to show you how to use it can be such a benefit. So if you have a light concealer or a light makeup anywhere, this is what you're going to want to do. There was something I was going to do. Oh, hang on. I want to darken my under eyes just a tiny, tiny bit. I didn't do any color correction on my under eyes or anything, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to use all cushion. I want to put a little bit of foundation here on my under eyes. And the reason I do that is it helps disguise the under eye darkness. Okay, then I'm going to take this light color. It's literally called light. And I'm just going to take, I use that brush a lot. Let's bring out the smudge brush. And I'm going to show you where you can put this light color to create lift. Just remember, dark recedes. So if you're going to contour, it's going to recede and it can carve out your bone structure. But the light can also help carve out your bone structure, but it's going to create lift. So everywhere you put it, you want to create lift. Okay, so pretty much everything is kind of heading southward. So we're just going to create lift on the corner of our eye. We're going to help carve out the cheekbone. We're going to create a little bit of lift by putting it at the top of the cheekbone. We're going to put a little bit down the center and maybe a little bit here if you don't have deep 11s. And that's how we're going to create lift. I love it. It's the favorite thing that I do with my makeup. And I feel like once you start doing it, you start catching on to why you do it, which is what I want you to understand. I don't want you to just do what I do. I want you to understand it so then you can be like, do you know I could put it here too? And it created lift. And I'm like, yes, once you start playing. Okay, so we're going to go here on the outer part of the eye. If you have deep crow's feet here, maybe use your main shade. But you can maybe mix your main shade and the light color there. And we're going to create lift. It cleaned up your eyeshadow. And it's going to go upward into the temple. Carving out the cheekbone. We're going to take it right here underneath the blush line. I got it a little bit low. There we go. Underneath the blush line. And it's going to help carve out the cheeks. Many of us right here, see my jowl? That right there is a shadow. You can add just a little bit. We don't want to add much. We just want a little bit of that light color right there. And that'll help lift it out. Because a lot of what we have on our faces are shadows. Okay, so we've lifted our eye. We've carved out our cheekbone a little bit. I'm going to take it here to the very inner corner of my eye. And I'm not going to do very much. Because right here is an area that's like chicken skin for me. And if I get too much on, it just accents my texture. And then I just kind of blend out. And I'll just take that color and I'll just take it here on my cheeks that are falling. And I just kind of swoop and I'll add a little bit of lift. So lift right here. I want to lift my cheeks. So I'm just going to put a little bit there. And then I just put it beside my nose and I just carve out my cheek. Hang on. I see a little bit where I missed. Right here on our noses, guys, hit that with your foundation. You're going to be like, I've never paid attention to that. I know. I think a lot of us don't. And we're always red right there. I don't have a cold. I'm completely healthy as far as I know. And that's gone. Okay. So that light color, I just lifted here and we're creating a little bit of lift on the cheeks and on the eyes. And then I'm going to go above my brow here. Right there. So that will create lift. I'll blend that in. Okay. So if you're just hopping on and you want to know about anything that I have here, a match to your cushion colors, you want the multi-balm stick, any of these links, if you comment live, I can send those to you. So right now we're brightening and we're creating lift for our mature faces. So I'm going to go not too low on this side of underneath my blush. I'm going to go there on the eye. I'm not going to blend it in. I want you guys to see it. And then here above the brow. This brow is lower than the other. I tried to fill it in and get it to match there. And then I'm just going to kind of start tapping and blending in here. Like so. I can't bring, some of you can. There's not a there's not a hard, fast rule of not putting brightener here unless it accents your texture. So if you go like here over in and put brightener, like many women do, even our age, they will bring it all up in here and all there. If you don't go, oh my gosh, what happened to my skin? Then you can do that. I can't. I have to bring it here on the side of my nose, and I have to avoid this area because it just accents all the things that I don't want you to see. Well, it's not that I don't want you to see it. I don't want to make it look worse, okay? And that's it for the brightener. That's really, truly it. I bring it down the center of my nose sometimes, like so. It'll just help slim your nose. I don't even contour it. I'll just bring that line. You need like a pencil thin line. You don't want it to be wide. If you put a wide white line down the center of your nose, you're going to make it look whiter. And I don't even contour it. Like so. So blend those areas in. I take it into my temple. My temple's falling in. Did you know your temple falls in? Yeah. Add that to your list. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a grump, but this area right here, it'll sink in for most of us. That's where we lose collagen. So you can bring a little bit of brightener in there to help. And that's it. Hi. What's going on, guys? So many of you are hopping on here. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, so I just put on my skin makeup. I used so incredibly little, but I don't look like I didn't put any makeup on. I don't look like it was like, you know, if you looked at me, you wouldn't be like, she hardly has any makeup on, but I hardly have any makeup on. I only put the makeup where I wanted it. Cheeks, my foundation, my cheeks, my nose, so little on my forehead, but I do cover my chin because I have acne scarring and broken capillaries. And then I'll just sweep it on the rest of my face. And that's the only place I put my foundation. Then I just start building dimension from there. Flushing of the cheeks with blush. I put that bronzer on and I create lift with that light color. Technique for us as older ladies, I feel like we have a little bit of that. We've been doing our makeup since our mamas had had a compact like this when we were little. You know, I think CoverGirl came out with a compact maybe in 1968. Maybe that's what I looked. And that's when things really started going for them makeup-wise. They had Noxzema, I think, prior to that. And our moms had it. Your mom had it. Tell me if your mom had the compact. And we all used it. And we learned how to do makeup from then on. Okay, we didn't have a clue, but we just kind of learned how to do our makeup from then on. But now, as mature ladies, our skin has changed. It's not the same, and we just need to adjust. And I love it. I love my makeup way more than I ever did in my entire life, and I use way less of it. And I don't have a big mess of a basket full of makeup. I know what I need, okay? And this adds skincare benefits to what I'm using. So that's the amazing part too. So, okay, I am going to put a little bit of a gloss over my lips. Remember I told you guys that this is a little bit more of a semi-matte finish. It has a velvet feel. Like I can go like this and still feel a little bit of that velvet feel on my lips. But I do like to go over it oftentimes with a gloss. I'm kind of looking, I'm like, what do I want to use? I think I'm just going to use a little bit of no, I'm not. I feel like lip oils sometimes can break down tints on your lips. I'm going to use this. This is a Saint lipstick. Diamonds Are Forever. And that's all I do. I'll add a little bit of a gloss or something to it on top because I don't like a matte on my lips. So, all right. I thank you so much for being here. And again, if you have any questions or anything, as always, please comment and I will certainly get back to you. See you guys.